Hey, everybody. We're here. We made it for our big kickoff and launch for the Defining Black Sisterhood online course. I'm Leslie Mack. I'm joined by Ronnie Dean-Burren. Excuse me, a Dr. Ronnie Dean-Burren. Let me make sure I say that. I don't want your mama saying nothing to me or anything, but
Rachel.
listen. But we are here tonight. A few people had asked if there was going to be a syllabus for tonight. It's like, no, tonight is really just an opportunity for Ronnie and I to kind of share a little bit about why we came up with this course, why we're doing it, some details and logistics on how it's going to work. But the syllabus itself won't kick off until March 1st. And then our first class together will be on March 7th, which I'll give some more details about later. But before we jump into that, for those that don't know who either of us are, Ronnie, tell the people who you are and who is you?
I mean, I am petty extraordinaire. No. I am Ronnie Dean-Burren. I just recently finished my PhD from U of H. So I'm a lecturer at the University of Houston, and a mama and an agitator, and again, petty extraordinaire. But I be on these internet streets trying to do good work for Black women and Black children. You'll often catch me talking about books and getting kids in the right books, getting Black kids in the right books. I'm really, really passionate about that. So that's just who I'm is, basically.
That's who you is. That's who you is.
Cut up a little bit every now and then.
Yes. I'm Leslie Mack, and I'm an organizer and activist. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I am from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a co-founder of Safety Pin Box and also founder of the Ferguson Response Network. And I spend most of my time supporting dope Black women doing amazing things in the world. And Ronnie and I are lucky enough to be friends.
We are. We found each other. That's that's like this. Yeah. That's
a whole thing.
That's a whole nother Facebook Live.
It is. Maybe we'll do that one after the class or something. It'll be like a after class session. So to kick things off, Ronnie, talk a little bit to the people about like why did we even decide to do this thing? What we doing here? Why are we here?
How we get here?
how we get here to this Facebook Live tonight?
What we doing? Why we playing? No. Well, I think that part of it is, when you look at who we are, and I understand that everybody may not know who we are, as my niece would say, pacifically. But our sisterhood, along with another bunch of women, and we'll talk about them a little bit later as well, has really been a balm for us. And it has really been a way that we have kept ourselves safe emotionally, like starting there. Like we've kept ourselves emotionally safe by having this sisterhood. We have put up with a lot of other things outside of our sisterhood and still been able to maintain that. And then I guess we had always kind of been talking just kind of here and there about wanting to share the beauty of this and like what this meant. And then of course, Leslie found the syllabus for Black womanhood. And so Leslie was kind of like, ooh, I think there might be something here we could work with. And then of course, so Leslie and I came together and we talked about that. And then just kind of this need, I think, to celebrate Black sisterhood in a very sacred way. Because what we have as Black women in our sisterhood, even all the layers and all of that stuff that comes with it, it is so sacred. And that you could be in a room filled with white people and see a Black woman, and it's like, hey sis, like, so you like, hey, how you doing? So I think that's sort of how it all came to be. And we always say, we found our people, we found our tribe. And hoping and praying and wishing and planning to share this out so that all Black women have this tribe as a larger piece, but also very specifically, right? Very a specific group of people that can sort of help you cultivate yourself, be a better you, love you in those dark places, and love you more in your insecure places. And so I think
Mhm.
because all those things we have just we're doing, and that it wasn't on accident. So that it was like, okay, because it wasn't an accident, let's get out there and let's do it. And then, of course, she ain't gonna say this, but brilliant Leslie Mack was like, how can we step this up? And so we'll talk a little bit more about how we've, decided to step this up as well. So that's it.
Yes. And the course you mentioned was Black Womanhood. Shout out to Jessica Marie Johnson and Martha S. Jones from Hopkins University, two amazing Black scholars who are teaching this Black Womanhood course for the first time. Actually, right now, they've already started. So they're in the midst of doing the work right now. So shout out to them for putting the syllabus together. And when I saw it, I really was kind of like, ooh, this sounds something about this feels like I need to do something with it. So, let's talk next about what we're going to do with it, right?
Yes.
So, hopefully, everybody that's listening, or if you're interested, please do go to bit.ly/, my sister's keeper register, and you can register for the class. We do have a cap. We're getting dangerously close to it, I have to say already, which was a bit of a surprise to Ronnie and I. We was like, oh, wait, people are really signing up for this thing. Um, but definitely go and register there. What will happen is you will get from us an email that will give you a syllabus for the week, and it will sometimes include reading, sometimes it'll include video to watch. It'll be pretty varied in the things that you'll be able to interact with based on each themes. And then starting Wednesday, March 7th, at 9:30 p.m. We'll have a live class every single Wednesday for 4 Wednesdays in a row at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. The first week will be very similar to what you're seeing right now. It'll be live on Facebook, so lots of people will be able to see it. But after that, we'll be actually transitioning to GoToWebinar because we really want to have a little bit more interaction and the ability to break into small groups if we want to, and to have a lot of question and answer back and forth as well, and a really strong exchange of ideas. So that kind of gives you a good breakdown of the flow of how the class is going to go. So you'll have a full 7 days to get through the syllabus. We know, look, I got about 50, 11 jobs.
Right.
Ronnie got kids. She got a whole husband and house she dealing with, plus her students. We know y'all can't be reading, 100
Right.
pages in a week. So don't
Right.
be scared about that. We're going to make
Right.
it manageable, and it will fit into your life well. And it'll be really great stuff to read for each of the weeks, which we'll get into a little bit there. And so, like I said, access links will be emailed to you every week. Really important to register. We're capping registration at 150 registrants, and it is creeping there very quickly. And then, just lastly, I'll mention this a few times, but just use hashtag my sister's keeper on social media, wherever you might be talking about the class, because that's what we'll be kind of using. We might end up pulling Twitter in later. You never know. One of these weeks, it might just make sense.
We'll be ready. We're ready to flex if we need to. Pull in this one, pull in that one.
Pulling that, exactly. So one of the first things Ronnie and I did once we were like, yeah, let's do this, was kind of sit down and talk about what parts of Black Sisterhood is. That's a huge, wide topic. It's as
Yeah.
wide as the sea. The ocean is big. And so we kind of had a open discussion about what parts of Black Sisterhood did we feel were really important to bring up, that spoke to us. And so we came up with 4 themes, one for each week. And I'll let you take week one, kind of talk people through what we're going to be talking about.
Well, our first week will be defining Black sisterhood and Black culture and media. And then listen, I'm in love with colon. So anytime like I'm writing something for a proposal, it's always going to be like blah, 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 colon. And also Leslie loves colons too. So it's like perfect, right? So, but the colon behind the defining Black sisterhood and pop culture is Pam and Gina, right? So when we think about pop culture and media and seeing Black sisterhood on TV, of course, Pam and Gina came up. It was like, how much did they love each other? Like, I always loved like that they would just walk into each other's house. Like, it was just like,
Just in.
Right. Pam would walk into Gina's boyfriend's house. Like, it was like, whatever. Like, that's my sister. And today I started thinking about, Kim and Whitley on A Different World, and sort of
Yes.
and like how Kim could tell Whitley in a minute, you doing too much. You being real
You're
extra.
doing way too much.
just kind of examining that and examining how we've seen that sisterhood. And I think too, one thing I think I'm hoping that we'll get into is how we saw that sisterhood as young girls and young women, and then how that sort of informed like, I'm gonna give me a friend like that, or I want a friend like that, and just I mean we know how powerful media is, right? And then even seeing some current sisterhoods. I guess celebrity sisters and things like that. I always think about that commercial. It was a couple years ago, Leslie. It was like maybe Taraji and
Oh, when they were dancing, it was the
it
Apple
was like, yeah,
commercial.
Mary J.
Yes, with
Blige, like,
Kerry
okay,
Washington.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So like
You know,
this
Ava DuVernay directed that commercial. So
that's in the see, that's in the vein. It's in the vein. Ava, if you're watching, like when you want if you want to come on,
just let us know.
just let
Come
us know. You can
on.
be one of our guests. We
Yes,
need a podcast.
can
We don't
come right through.
you can come through. So really sort of looking at our sisterhood kind of on the big screen and how that's informed our own thoughts and processes about sisterhood. And I think that's also the fun part. Like that shows like how we are with each other, how silly we can be. And so I'm excited about that one just because there's so many great examples of positive Black sisterhood in media and how, we look at that. So that's our week one.
Yes. Week two, we're going to be defining family through sisterhood, also known as Black auntyhood. Now, for those who don't know, I consider myself a bit of a movement auntie, but I'm also an actual auntie. I have 12 nieces and nephews. I have four great nieces. Those are my blood related nieces and nephews. But I have a host of children that call me auntie all over the place. And so, what we really wanted to talk about in week two is how Black sisterhood has been translated into familial bonds.
Yeah.
What role does sisterhood play in child rearing and community and accountability? We all know that saying, it takes a village. Just so y'all know, Hillary Clinton did not come up with that. It's from the motherland, to be clear. And so what we know in our culture is that auntyhood, that's something you bestow on people,
Yeah.
and sisterhood is how you get there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how we build family through sisterhood in week two, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Week three, we will go into defining the dynamics of Black sisterhood, power and precarity. So
Mm.
this one I think will be super fun, super layered, super heavy, but not inaccessible either. Like I don't want you to think about it like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get into that. We're going to talk about the layers in relationships. We'll kind of start through maybe a literary lens, and so we'll talk about there may be some excerpts or some pulls from some maybe popular pieces of literature that we've read and looking at sisterhood in those novels and then sort of talking about how that maybe manifests in our own relationships and our own sisterhood and the dynamics of it and what that looks like, and that because we're not going to pretend that it's all rosy either. Like I think that's an important when we're talking about dynamics. There is no relationship that I've ever been in that's been like we good. It ain't never no imbalance of power or no. I mean, all of those things happen in relationships, and so I think it's important to talk about that in terms of our sisters. So that's week
Yeah,
three.
because when we were talking about that week, the thing that really struck out for me is that the strongest sisterhoods that I have openly discuss power and precarity, openly discuss the ways in which power dynamics play out in people's responses to us individually and collectively, and what we're able to do in the world that our sister may not be able to do.
Well, and what I think is awesome too, Leslie, is that you and I are sisters, right? So we've both talked about like our own blood sisters, right? And how hood they are, right? And how both of our sisters are like, do we need to, right? But even in our own sisterhoods with our blood sisters, that we have those conversations and that we, that there's a layer of like, no, I'm not able to do that, or you're able to do that. There's a layer of calling each other out in love, and that there's like, listen, I really think you ought to protect yourself, but all of that is real, all of that is, and then learning to say, you know what, let me step back because I need to amplify my sister on this, and I need to kind of move back because I have this power in society that she doesn't, and so all of that is super important. And we can get into a whole lot of layers when we talk about that, and how we deal with pain, and how we are allowed to deal and cope with pain, based on who we are in society. So I think that
Hmm.
week will be like one of those, we like, y'all, we have to stop. Like, we've been on
It's
here.
gonna be a big week. Yeah, it's gonna be a big week that week. But I'm excited to get into it. It was
Yeah.
one of the weeks that I was like, yes. That we finish up with defining the structure of sisterhood, also known as group chat saved my life. Yes, they did. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about what are some new ways that sisterhood is being created and maintained in our lives. Where does it fit? Where does it not fit? And then lastly, how can we structure our sisterhoods in ways that uphold our individual humanity and sustain relationships with each other? So we're really going to get into the nuts and bolts of like what are the things we have to commit ourselves to have strong sisterhood bonds and to create spaces where sisterhood thrives. Because you do really have to set a good table
Yeah.
if you want everybody to eat. And so this is part of that process. And so we're really gonna get into all of that in the last week that we have together. Hopefully, some action items we can all put into practice in our various spaces as well.
That one, I'm super excited about that one too, because the level of intentionality I think is huge. And the idea that these sisterhoods can be created in these brand new ways. Obviously, I have blood sisters and I have sorority sisters, right? And those have sort of been my sisterhood circles, right? But then as we've moved into this digital age and social media, the growth of these, so all of that I think is super interesting, and talking about, like you said, ways to kind of be intentional with that and be on purpose with that. I think that'll be, like you said, walking away from that with some action items. I can even foresee, like, okay, let's check back in this many weeks and talk about ways,
Yes.
sort of cultivated, a sister circle. So
Hmm.
that's like the perfect way to like end it too, or to like
Just
launch into the next layer.
launch into it to the next. You never know what's going to happen.
Never know, never know.
That's exactly right. So again, next steps for folks is to go to the link. I think if you're watching this in the Facebook event page, it's actually being shared on that feed there. But you can go to my page. Ronnie has it on her page, though she's in jail on her main page right now. Facebook is racist, just so y'all know. Just saying. Yeah, so register, tell your friends to register if they're interested in the course. We'll let folks know when we hit that cap. Well, actually, the link won't work anymore. It'll just say, hey, sorry, we're full, but we're very excited about it. And again, hashtag my sister's keeper, which will be what we're using on all of the social medias and places to kind of keep the conversation going together. So you were going to talk a little bit about some expectations around, what are we asking people to show up? How are we asking them to show up? What are we expecting them to commit to by coming and doing the course with us?
Well, the first thing is we want you all to interact. We really, that's, I was telling Leslie, when I teach my courses, because there's an online element to our course, to the course I teach at U of H, there's a discussion board, right? They have to go on, they have to discuss, they have to ask questions, they have to interact. And so that's what we're
Hmm.
hoping for. Listen, I could talk to Leslie all day, every day. We have spent much time together. We could talk. We want to talk to y'all. We want y'all to talk to us, and we want to have dialogue. And so that's the main part. Like Leslie was saying, we're not going to overload you with reading and all of that. I
Hmm.
promise we're not going to put anything out there that's like, I can't read this. This is somebody's dissertation. I enjoy reading those types of things, but I get it. Like, even me, sometimes I'm like, all right, I get it, right? So we're going to give you great stuff, I think, that will be conversation starters. And so the hope is that, obviously, that you participate with us, that you ask questions, and that you just be in this sister circle with us. I mean, this in and of
Hmm.
itself is a sister circle, and we're expecting you to do that. Now, the other part of sort of our expectations, or what we're hoping, is the A Wrinkle in Time challenge. So, in case you don't know, this beautiful movie, I can already tell you it's beautiful. Like, I can see it, right? A Wrinkle
Gorgeous.
in Time is coming out, and Ava DuVernay is the director, and Mother Oprah is in it. And it is about a little Black girl who is a just loves science and her relationship with her father. It's great, right? By the way, if you haven't read it, read it. There's a great graphic novel out there as well. I'll post that in like the my sister's keeper thing too. But so here's the thing with the A Wrinkle in Time challenge. First, I'm going to give you like some things we want you to do, right? Some more expectations. Go check out this Medium piece. I've shared it on my page. Leslie shared it on her page. Is it in the? It's everywhere right now. Don't.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's on my Twitter. If you follow me on Instagram,
Right.
it's actually on my info page there, and we'll
Right.
be sharing it a lot for
We'll be
sure.
sharing it a
So
lot, and it is
yes.
written by the brilliant Sharonda,
Oh no.
who is just a wordsmith who just yeah, like what she did with that Medium piece, like take some time, go read it. And one of the hashtags that we've kind of talked about is for the A Wrinkle in Time challenge is obviously AWIT challenge, but also for Stormaya. Am I saying her name right?
Yep, that's right.
And so go read the Medium piece and read about this young, beautiful, brilliant Black girl, and read her story and read why movies like A Wrinkle in Time are so important. One pull quote that I wanted to talk about from Sharonda's piece is she pulled a quote from Oprah, who talked about how representation matters so much.
Mm.
And about 2 years ago, Soledad O'Brien came to U of H, and she said, "I always knew growing up that what was in books, was important. I knew that. Like if it was in a book, it was important." And she said, "As an Afro Latina girl, I never saw myself in books, so I never knew if I was important." And she said
Mm.
it wasn't until she read maybe Bless Me Ultima in college that she was like, "Oh, they write about Latina women," and so that's what's amazing about this movie. That's what's amazing about the book in general. So read the Medium piece, right? And then we want all of you to do what you can to participate. We have a GoFundMe set up because we want Black girls and non boys around the country to be able to go see this movie, A Wrinkle in Time. We think it's going to be that brilliant. We know that. Black girls in science, like, hello, like, hello, like that's a
Yes.
thing, right? So we'll
Hmm.
be doing this in 8 cities because there are 8 of us women who are participating in this. Now, if you want to read a little more about our bios, they'll be at the bottom of that Medium piece. But am I saying their names?
You can say their names. Look, shout them out. It's our sister circle. Let's do it.
So we got Asia Renee, who is the Quiet Storm. We got Danny Sanchez, who is our resident artiste.
Hmm.
We got Jasmine Whitaker, who is just Miss Bougie, Miss she'll get on a plane and come fight somebody for you. Like
Mm.
that's just she's also the baby. Is she our baby? Yes, she's the
She
baby.
is our baby. Hmm.
Of course, we have Kirsten Keeks, who is just everything, who is the best storyteller altogether, by the way, but
Hmm.
best gift storyteller in the world. Of course, we have the Leslie Mack, who always be killing us with this lipstick, y'all. Just you can roll your eyes at her because she'd be doing the most. You have me, and then of course, like I said, we have the Sharonda Brown, who is just our sort of writer and media person and all things movie. So that's our sisterhood. We are sisters in the storm. That's who we are. And so all of us have kind of come together and decided like this is a great way to not only talk about sisterhood but also spread the love. What can we do for
Hmm.
Black girls all over this country? How can we make A Wrinkle in Time an experience for them that is just life changing? That they go to the cinema and they see themselves. Like I can't imagine being 9 and going to the movies and sit because I didn't. I mean, you didn't see that.
No,
If
no.
we did see ourselves, for a lot of us, we saw Black Pain. It was like,
Hmm.
oh,
The color purple. I'm trying to think of like, yeah.
and so this
Hmm.
experience, I think, or we're hoping that it'll be awesome. So the 8 cities that we'll be in will be Chicago, Houston, Austin, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Greensboro, North Carolina, and Plainfield, New Jersey, and
Hmm.
Washington, D.C. So look at that. Like you have an opportunity to like let Black girls go see this movie. Like listen,
All over.
Leslie, I think you shared that video of the kids at Ron Clark Academy when they found out they
I did.
had, which,
Hmm.
this is Black Panther week. Yay, right? So we
Yay.
this much hype for Black girls and non-boys when it comes to this movie. And so that's sort of how we wanted to level up this whole experience, and it's, not that it's enough that we are talking about sisterhood and the beauty of that, but our expectation too is that we're talking about this widely, and we're talking about ways in which we can start to create little sisterhoods for little Black girls and non-boys all over this country, and what that would look like. I mean, imagine sitting in a theater, Leslie. Can you imagine this? Like, you're sitting in a theater full of Black girls. Like, well,
Mm.
you're 12 and that's happening for you. I mean,
Listen, watching Oprah and Gugu and Storm, the little girl who plays Meg in the movie. I just think these will be magical events, and I'm really excited to be able to bring this to um, Black girls around the country. Bring them together for a moment. Not just that their ticket will be free, right? Because one of the things that we talked about when we all were starting to plan is like, oh well, we could just get gift cards and whoever the kids sign up and they could just get a card. I'm like, no, because we really want to create a moment for them to experience this
yeah.
together. There's something. Um, well, there's something that happens in movie theaters generally because you're having a communal experience, but having all of those Black girls together, seeing it there. I did a fundraiser last year for St. Louis organizers for Girls Trip to buy the theater in St. Louis, and I was able to go. And I'm sure everybody loved the movie wherever they saw it, but I can tell you that seeing it in that room with just nothing but Black women, that I just said, hey, you an organizer in this city, come, I got you. It was a beautiful experience. And so I really am excited to expand and have these 8 cities participate in a really big way. So y'all will be hearing lots more about that. But right now the fundraiser is up, it's launched. We're trying to get it out to as many people as possible. So please, even if you don't have a couple dollars to spare right now, just share it once a day if you can, and just keep sharing it so that we can get the word out as far as we possibly can.
And we know, like Leslie, you just say the magic of Black girls. I'm raising a little Black girl. She's 14, and 3 summers ago, I took her to Alvin Ailey for the summer, and walking into that space, which again, it's the Alvin Ailey Theater, right? It's like hallowed, it's like church, right? It's like holy.
Hmm.
But all those Black girls in that space together, like, it literally, I tell people, it changed her life. Like, being with that many Black girls and doing Black girl things together. And so thinking about that same notion for these 8 cities and the Black girls in those cities and what this could be for them, that it could literally be a moment where they go, wow, look at my sisters. Like,
Yes.
these are my sisters. Like, I just met them like 2 minutes ago, but we're gonna have this experience together as sisters. So yes, share it. We'll be sharing it all the time. We'll be talking about it, and we think it'll be a beautiful thing. Um, we think it's like I think it's like the living and breathing example of sisterhood, right? That
Hmm.
come together to talk about sisterhood, but also to plant seeds for young sisters growing up. So I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I too am excited. All right. Well, I think that's all that we have for tonight. Again, register, register, register. Tell your friends to register if you want them to participate as well.
There's a cap.
There's a cap. We're reaching it
Because we want to
quickly.
be able to talk to everybody, and
Yeah.
there's a certain number that we could get to, and it's just like,
Becomes unwieldy. Yeah, we want to
yes,
be able to actually interact with everybody.
yeah.
So definitely register. Again, use that hashtag My Sister's Keeper. Share the Wrinkle in Time link wherever you can, and keep sharing it as well. And we will, if once you register, you'll get an email from us prior to March 1st with the syllabus for the first week. So
You can
stay
come to
tuned for that.
class and be ready.
Yay! So excited. All right, everybody. Have a great night. I love you, Roni.
I love you, Leslie.
Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.